morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's Diane.
And Bruce.
And we are so excited because we decided we want to bring some more value to everyone who's been watching. And since we are realtors, we are going to bring some real estate information to you guys and interview some of our experts here on the Diane and Bruce Show.
Better than just us talking.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We're not like funny anymore.
We can be. We can be funny.
We're funny sometimes.
Sometimes.
But anyways, so
but today's expertise.
We're gonna show some expertise, and we're gonna invite some of our experts like into the car with us, take them out for coffee, and see if they have anything valuable to share with us. So
let's see what the day brings.
All right, let's see what the day brings.
Oh, who's getting in now?
Who might that be?
Hello, Diane.
Well,
Hi, Bruce.
hi, Dean.
Hi,
How
Dean.
are you?
Very good. Very
So
good.
this is one of our favorite home inspectors. Dean, tell us your name and the name of your company, Dean.
It's Dean Murphy, Shoveltown Home Inspections.
And how long have you been a home inspector, Dean?
Full-time for the past 6 years. I've been doing home inspections for about 15 years now.
That's awesome. And you were a builder, right?
Yeah, I'm a licensed builder. I've built houses the majority of my life. Sold real estate for a while and eventually got into home inspecting because I just feel people need to know the current condition of a property so they can make an informed purchase decision.
Terrific.
Well, I'll tell you, we've been at many home inspections together, and it's just amazing what I have learned too, being a realtor from attending all these home inspections for our clients, what is uncovered. And it makes me, I've said this to Bruce, I want to have a home inspection on my home. I've been in my home for 30, how many years? 20 years. And you just never know. My brother, just as an aside, he was in his house for over 20 years and went to finish his basement. I don't know if I ever told you the story. And when he went to rip out his basement to finish it, major termite damage. Yeah. He had no idea because no one does inspections for 20 years. Right. So anyway, so let's for the people that are watching, Dean, let's I guess my question would be what?
Well, if you were in your existing home,
yep,
maybe thinking about selling, maybe just for your own knowledge, yep, what are the key things that you should be keeping up with, that you should be doing, that you should be mindful of? Because what comes up at inspection that you could have headed off before it happened?
How about this question? What, Dean, and I don't mean to put you on the spot here, what would you say are the top 3 problems that come up, issues that come up at home inspections? Perfect. That sellers might be able to address before they decide to sell their house?
Yeah, some that come to mind would be, one would be chimneys, masonry chimneys, brick chimneys in particular.
Really?
People look at them as a permanent structure that basically is there forever and need no maintenance, and that couldn't be further from the truth. Masonry chimneys, basically at the top of it is a masonry chimney crown, or wash they call it, that protects the whole inside of the chimney. Over time, this masonry cracks, water enters it, and deteriorates the inside of the chimney. And when it gets advanced, if it's not taken care of soon, it can, the chimney may need a complete rebuild.
Wow.
So,
and that's expensive, I would imagine.
When it gets to that point, yeah. So the top of the chimney is extremely important. And it's the noticeable signs that people can see inside their houses, inside the fireplace if it has one, or at the base of the chimney inside, you'll see efflorescence, which is a white powdery growth or dripping and water stains inside the fireplace. That's a key sign to of chimney crown failure. Also, if they look at the outside of it, they'll often see bricks that are spalled, which means they're kind of blown out. Portions of the brick are missing, and a lot of loose mortar, the masonry between the bricks. Another area of concern, or an area that people should look at also, is the exterior. At the exterior of the house is the gutters and downspouts. They're often overlooked, and people don't keep them clean and operating properly. When this happens, it doesn't take a lot of leaves or even pine needles to gather in a gutter for it to clog up. And when they clog clog up. They often back up into the soffits and even into the house structure sometimes.
So, Dean, can I ask you a question? We had ice dams one year. Is that a result of gutter issues?
It's not directly related, but we can talk about that in a second. Let me just finish with the gutter thing. So they can back up into your soffits, or they'll overflow, and when they do that, they often land on the ground right outside your foundation, splash up on your structure, sometimes deteriorating wood, siding, trim, like areas like that. Also, when it discharges right at the foundation, it often weeps into your house, whether it's a concrete foundation or a masonry stone block foundation. You'll see white efflorescence again on the basement walls that are viewable, a white powdery substance showing that there's water on the inside of the, making its way to the inside of the foundation.
Okay.
Your question so again, the gutters and downspouts need to be kept clean, properly pitched, with downspouts that go to the ground and pitch away from the structure. About 6 feet away from the house is where you want the water to discharge.
I always hear you talking about that. Make sure that the downspouts come way away from the house.
I had a personal experience with it where I purchased my house and they said they never had water in the basement. First heavy storm, sure enough, I had water, but we just moved into our house. I came home from work. I walked in. I said, "Who's taking a shower?" to my wife, and she said, "I'm here alone, nobody." And I opened up the cellar door. We were in our house for a week. There was a foot of water in my basement.
Oh my gosh!
All our belongings were floating in the water.
Oh my God!
You know, because we had moved in, and really all it took was gutters and downspouts
Wow.
discharging away from the house, and never had a problem since.
Okay, good advice. And one more?
Well, regarding the ice dam situation,
yeah.
The ice dam situation is, hopefully we don't have another 2015, which was the year of ice dams. Those are caused mainly from the heat inside your house. You have snow on top of your roof, heat inside of your house transfers up into the attic space, melts the snow and the ice. It travels down your roof structure. When it gets to the area where the soffits are, there's no heat on it.
Explain what soffits are to people.
The soffits are the projection of the roof that sticks out approximately a foot from the outside wall where the gutters are hung on.
Got it.
Those are your soffit areas. When those areas, there's no heat underneath it, so that water as it travels down the roof hits those areas with no heat on it and starts icing up. And over a continuous amount of time, that builds up into an ice dam, a mound, and so much so that as the water comes down, it collects and then backs up under your roof shingles and into your house.
I see. Okay.
So that's the main cause of that. And again, we just had the perfect conditions for it a few years ago, and hopefully that won't happen again.
Yes, that was like, I felt like everyone we knew had ice dams.
Right. Yeah, and about 80% of the houses I went into that year had signs of, there were visual signs of leaking. Wow. And
crazy.
It was. Another one. I'm just trying to think of another area.
Oh, I know one. No one likes to hear the M word at home inspections.
Attic ventilation. So right along the same line.
Okay.
All attics, particularly this.
Is it common in like Sharon or New England or Newton or what?
It's common. Here's what's happened is nowadays, I tell all my clients to call Mass Save. Mass Save is a consortium of energy companies that that provide energy efficiency services for free or budget pricing, basically to make homes more energy efficient, and it's paid for by the consumer, but you can do an energy audit. When they come in, they over insulate, or they insulate to make your house more efficient.
Right.
But when they do that, or particularly in the past when they did that, there was a lot of problems with the way they did it. And what would happen is either they clog up the ventilation. Attics need to breathe. So the underside of the roof structure, when there's snow on the outside of it in the wintertime, warm air inside, where those two meet on the underside of the roof surface, it condenses. You get moisture there. And if it's ventilated properly, that will just basically through ventilation dry out. If it's not vented properly, the condensation will adhere to the wood structure and create mold and sometimes pretty significant.
Got it.
Okay.
So it's ventilation is critical, and really all it takes is taking a peek up in the attic, particularly close to the low part of the roof is where most of the ventilation problems
And
happen.
people see it with dark discoloration, dark staining.
Dark staining, sometimes physical growth. I was in a place yesterday that had, like, equated to a man's, like 2-week
Stubble.
beard. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Gross.
hairy growth on the underside of the roof.
Wow.
If you see that, it's time to call the environmental specialist.
So people that own their homes can just go upstairs to their attic, peek
Give a peek in
upstairs,
there, yep.
peek
It
up
should
there
be-
and
they
see.
should, yep.
And if they do see something, what do? They call you?
Contact, I mean, they could, but contacted an environmental specialist. So
Okay.
sometimes it's a matter of nowadays, actually, because some of these conditions were created by the Mass Save program because they were over insulating and not taking care of some of the
Yeah.
problems. Now they're doing it much better. They have again, the problem, what they were doing, they were insulating the majority of the attic, leaving like the pull-down stairwell or scuttle hatch with no insulation, so a lot of heat would go up through that, and it's the heat in contact with the cool air that causes the condensation problem. So now they have better ways to minimize the air seepage up into the attic, and that's really what they try to do.
Got it.
But when you call them out, they'll also, they work on ventilation is one of their areas that they're covering now. Sometimes for charge, but sometimes I've had it done on my house where they actually did it for free. So it kind of depends on what the situation is. If they're upgrading the insulation, often they'll at least include a portion of the ventilation as covered under the Mass Save program.
That's awesome. And I actually have experience with Mass Save. We called them, and we have, I don't even want to give the number, it's embarrassing, but we have many, many recessed lights in our house, and that's another thing that Mass Save does. They provided us all new LED light bulbs for free. You don't even pay for them. They give them to you, although they had to order them because we had so many, and they came back. The only downside to that was that some of our old 1980s dimmers didn't work anymore.
Right.
So I had to hire an electrician to put in new switches. But, well, thank you, Dean. This has been so informative. I hope people, I don't know, I got to fix my camera here. I want to be able to see everybody. Thank you for coming, Dean Murphy, Shoveltown Home Inspections, and I think you've given our viewers some great tips today. So thanks for coming.
Excellent.
And let's go have some coffee now.
Deserves a cup of coffee.
Sounds good.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.